Again, my name is Clinton Devereaux, Director of Solutions Engineering here at AirSpring. And I want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today for this very important discussion on business continuity and disaster recovery and the products that AirSpring sells to help your customers meet those ends. In today's fast-paced, always connected environment, disruptions can come from anywhere, right? We know this. Natural disasters, cyber attacks, or even unexpected system failures. So the question isn't how just how quickly we can bounce back, but how well we can keep moving forward while adapting to the challenges. We'll explore the differences between business continuity and disaster recovery, why both are essential for a resilient organization, and the products and services offered by AirSpring that will help to protect your customers' operations and reputation, which is a big deal. Whether you're just starting to think about these strategies or looking to refine an existing plan, this webinar will provide practical insights and actionable steps to help your customers thrive in the face of disruption. Okay. two words, or actually 4 words: no connectivity, no business. And that rings true. Connectivity to the internet nowadays is the backbone of modern business operations for businesses of any size. So we don't want to relegate this, this discussion just to the enterprises of the world. Any business of any size can make do with a BCDR strategy. The internet enables real-time communication, seamless collaboration, and access to the cloud-based resources that most all businesses rely on for their day-to-day operations. And without reliable connectivity, any business risks operational inefficiencies, customer dissatisfaction, and missed opportunities in an increasingly digital marketplace. We got the Black Friday is coming up in Cyber Monday, which I use as examples in a couple of slides. So business continuity and disaster recovery, how do they differ? Well, business continuity focuses on maintaining critical operations during a disruption, ensuring the business can function despite those challenges. And disaster recovery, on the other hand, is about restoring systems and data after an accident, bringing the business back to normal operations after a catastrophic event. So in a nutshell, continuity is proactive and ongoing, right? Whereas recovery is reactive and event specific. But both are essential and should be considered for any kind of business resilience. And you can see here some devastation that's occurred. Not a good thing for any business. So how do they differ in continuance? Business continuity and disaster recovery focus on different things. Again, business continuity is about keeping the business running during a problem, like figuring out how to keep serving customers even if the office is closed. And DR is more specific. Again, it's just much more specific. It's about getting IT systems and data and equipment back up and running after something like, I don't know, a cyber attack or a power outage, for example. So you could say again that continuity is about staying operational, while recovery is about fixing what's broken. And you can see here in the slide how business continuity and disaster recovery have different aspects in terms of scope, objective, recovery focus, and the key elements surrounding their concepts. And again, business continuity is more about the entire organization, right? People, operations, facilities, and technology, whereas disaster recovery is about systems and data, right? And it's really more technology focused versus business continuity. Business continuity wants to ensure ongoing business operations, whereas DR is really around, as far as objective, and DR is around restoring IT systems and data after a disruption. The recovery focuses can be considered different as well. Business continuity focuses more on maintaining critical operations, like finance and human resources and the like, sales. And then disaster recovery is centered more around restoring the IT infrastructure, servers and networks and things like that that may have been compromised during an event, and getting those back up and running again. And then the key elements are different as well. Business continuity centers around people, processes, and facilities and technology, whereas disaster recovery centers around backups, disaster recovery planning, and cloud recovery solutions. So the impact on enterprises, are you ready? Have you thought about how you are going to protect your customers and your enterprise if you happen to be an end user on the call? The impact on e-commerce and downtime and data breaches can have a severe business impact, including loss of revenue, damaged customer trust, and illegal liabilities. Imagine trying to log into your bank e-commerce site and and you get like a 403 error or something, right? And you do it again and you get it again. You do it again and you get it again. That may have an impact on your ability to withdraw money, maybe move stuff around, and that's not cool. So that's customer trust. So there are many different aspects of how BCDR can help to alleviate those issues. So because even short periods of downtime can disrupt sales, right, and affect brand reputation. Data breaches expose sensitive customer information, risking, both financial losses and regulatory penalties, right? You can be impacted by those from federally for those things happening. And then your investors and your principals. They probably wouldn't want to continue to invest in or augment investments in a business that can't keep itself up and running. So, additionally, the recovery process from these incidents can be costly and time consuming. They can strain resources and operations. So proactive measures are essential to mitigating these risks and ensuring business continuity. So, we take a look at these, these examples. We would be remiss if we did not provide some FUD, some fear, uncertainty, and doubt statistically about the cost of e-commerce downtime and the global average cost of data breaches. I mean, we're all familiar with these things. We hear about them on the news, we read about them in the news, and the impact. And we've also probably patronized businesses that were impacted by these things and probably personally impacted by these things. So it's not a good thing. Gartner says that the cost of downtime for e-commerce, $5,600 per minute, and then can average $5 million per hour. That's huge. Those are huge numbers. We're spending an extra $400 or $500 on a backup circuit for, right? The global average cost of a data breach, close to $5 million. Those are big numbers, especially if you're a smaller business, right? So think about it. I'm asking you the question, how are you protecting your enterprise, right? Because these are conversations that as agents and as end users, we should be having amongst ourselves and within our organizations, considering, the possibility of man-made disasters, right? And these things that are caused by human intervention or human mistakes, unplanned network outages, database breaches, ransomware. I mean, you got these nefarious actors on the wild, wild west, World Wide Web, that are just doing everything that they can to compromise the integrity of businesses and their data, and to get money for in doing so, like ransomware. And you got these phishing attempts. We probably all get emails, that say, hey, click on this link, and your bank is trying to reach you about a particular issue. Click on this link. Automated upgrades and things like that can cause issues. And then, from the man-made disasters, you have these natural disasters, caused by force majeure or acts of God. Natural disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, earthquakes, flooding, blizzards, sound apocalyptic. But these things happen and they can compromise a business's ability to do business. And we want to do things to help prevent that from happening, even in the face of disruption. So the unexpected impact, what are they? CDK Global and CrowdStrike, two prominent examples of how having a good BCDR, plan is relevant. Back in earlier this year, CDK Global, which is a leading provider of software for automotive dealerships, They suffered a severe ransomware attack orchestrated by the Black Suit Group, again, one of those nefarious entities on the web that are looking to disrupt business and cause harm. Now, this incident disrupted operations at over 15,000 car dealerships across North America, halting key processes like inventory management, invoicing, and payroll. And many dealerships were forced to revert to manual operations, and that caused significant inefficiencies and financial losses. So the attackers, the Black Suit Group, reportedly demanded tens of millions of dollars in ransom, exploiting vulnerabilities within CDK's systems. And any attempts to restore the services actually led to additional disruptions. Can you imagine that? You're trying to fix things, and it added it exacerbated the problem, further prolonging recovery efforts. So the numbers, as a result, it's estimated that the automotive industry itself in this country experienced a decline of approximately 100,000 vehicle sales, with some dealerships reporting sales drops of up to 50%. Now that's that's economy impacting, right? Those are terrible, terrible numbers, right? To have been suffered from that attack. That's CDK Global. And so when we take a look at the estimated 1 billion plus in losses due to the attack, we take a look at the vulnerabilities and the exposures that CDK Global had that made that possible. The mission critical applications for auto dealerships is what they render to auto dealerships as a service, and there were vulnerabilities and exposures to those systems. Personal credit information or PCI information was compromised as a result of it. And CDK really didn't have access to additional systems and networks to go around the issue, right? So when you talk about BCDR remediation, maybe adopting some sort of secure networking with ZTNA, zero trust network access, prevent those kinds of breaches. Multi-factor authentication, access to data, right, which is a second layer of security. And then testing vulnerabilities, right? It's one thing to have these contingencies in place, but you got to test them, right? Because new things are always coming up. New ways of compromising networks are always around the corner. I just recently heard that China has announced that they are actually able to crack AES encryption. You might want to take a look at that, right? Look that up or Google it, see what the deal is. But that's huge. I mean, so I can see a lot of technology vendors scrambling on the back end to try to subvert that. And then having contingency plans, right? I mean, planning for these disruptive events, having some foresight and the processes in place, so when these things happen, you have a path of recovery. Lots of businesses, the size of CDK Global, don't have these things in place, and that's a travesty. Then we take a look at the CrowdStrike incident, right? I think that just about everybody was impacted by that, or whether you were buying a car or not. There was an estimated $5.4 billion in damages to multiple Fortune 500 companies as a result of that attack. Now, the CrowdStrike, that issue was due to a patch update incident, which also helps to highlight the complexities of relying on a single cybersecurity vendor, because CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity vendor. Now, the faulty update to the Falcon platform, which is the platform that they use, caused a widespread issue with Windows devices exclusively, leading to system failures and or what are called BSODs, blue screens of death. Remember back in the Windows 95 days, right? In the early days of Windows, we were getting those often and frequently. And so that's what that patch update did to those client and server systems. And so, the outage affected millions of devices across industries, multiple industries, aviation, healthcare, retail, and it created disruptions ranging from flight delays to operational slowdowns, and the immediate consequences were substantial, right? As we can see in that $5.4 billion number we're looking at. And many companies faced halted operations, technical difficulties, and in a lot of cases, just plain old operational paralysis. Now, the aviation sector, exclusively saw massive disruptions, right? With airports experiencing delays and cancellations, as critical systems failed. So this event highlights the importance of BCDR planning and testing processes, right? Both. You can see automated systematic patch update that occurred. It wasn't a cyber attack. It was actually a sanctioned update to the CrowdStrike software. You know, global outages. Look at the numbers. Global outages impacting 8.5 million computers, and that's a Reuters number. 25% of Fortune 500 companies disrupted. That's an Axios number. So, you could treat these things as a BCDR scenario, some of these aspects of backup, redundancy, and disaster recovery. Maybe if they had a way of rolling back the client and server devices in an expeditious manner, maybe using VMware, vMotion, or technologies like that, or backing up those critical applications in geographically disparate data centers, right? And then being able to move, all the client devices, in some way, shape, form to those new, to those facilities that weren't impacted or that were backed up, would have been a way of addressing that. But again, these are all like plans that businesses have to have internal discussions about, and that we as technologists have to have discussions with our customers about to come up with those plans. So scaling the impact. Scaling the impact. The impact of business continuity in DR scales differently, obviously across different size businesses, small, medium, enterprise, right? And that's due to the variations in resources. Small businesses, small resources in a lot of cases, less complexity and less risk tolerance. But then you can flip the script on that and say that, well, small businesses are so small, they can be small enough, whereas they can't tolerate any risk, right? An hour of not having the ability to, conduct e-commerce or, create retail transactions can be devastating for a small business. So normally small businesses tend to face higher stakes, right? By that logic, as a single disruption can jeopardize their very survival, right? And so those types of businesses require cost-effective, streamlined plans, right? Because they don't necessarily have the budgets to go all out. Whereas, medium-sized businesses, should probably look at balancing growing operational demands with resource limitations and emphasize more scalable solutions, things they can start off with and then grow as a result of. And then enterprises, the focus can shift to minimizing downtime across global operations, and the process of managing intricate interdependencies, amongst different vendors, and then also safeguarding their reputation, because having a global operation and being a bigwig, that kind of reputation, impact on reputation is huge. But I digress and say that regardless of size, BCDR is essential for any size business, and the scale of preparedness for any business will determine the scale of resiliency. So up next, let's review a couple of real world examples of BCDR, and these are actual AirSpring customers. So in this example, we have a 200 location national retailer with e-commerce presence. So connectivity is going to be huge, right, in maintaining that effort. There's lots of business done and conducted via their e-commerce site. And so the solution was providing them with a secure SD-WAN overlay using the ubiquity of multiple connections into the edge devices, and providing that secure high-speed overlay over those underlay connections. And the diversity of those connections as well, right? Providing them with primary, fiber terrestrial connectivity, that high-speed low drag stuff, and then providing them with different wireless backup solutions as well. And also implementing a high availability and high speed network. So we had HA, we configured HA, which was diverse switches and diverse and high availability edge components, along with that diverse connectivity. And so the whole point of this was to accommodate seasonal holiday demand. right? And also to protect their sales and financial transactions, which to this day I can say has been the case. We've had a couple of events that have occurred over the past few months. Helene, that was a pretty big storm, and other things that did not take this customer down because of the resiliency and the consideration for BCDR that they had in the overall design of the solution that AirSpring provided for them and that we actually designed for them. Disaster recovery, right? This was a specialty healthcare provider that needed to remain connected to protect its patients. And we, sort of did the same thing. But this company actually also had some contingency in place in terms of primary and secondary data centers that AirSpring assisted with, again, that redundant connectivity into those locations with the ability to fail over, in a hitless fashion, so that they could, their branch locations could continue to connect into those critical applications that they use to conduct business and manage their customer base with, right? Their patients. So, we did the high availability, high speed fiber DIA with resilient broadband backups. In this case, I think it was Starlink that we used, and also provided them with a secure access service edge solution. Again, with I think it was Broadcom VeloCloud was the actual product that we used. And then the customer having implemented primary and secondary data centers along with our resilient connectivity, to make sure that they had access again to those ERPs and different platforms and systems that they use to help their patients. So that was huge. And during Hurricane Helene, when that thing came up from the western coast of Florida and came up through Alabama and ultimately hit North Carolina, we're still reeling from a lot of the damage that was occurred by that storm. But when it happened, this particular customer stayed up. All that high-speed fiber, that terrestrial connectivity was impacted, right, by these storms. And we're talking about even path protected fiber, right? But when Mother Nature decides to act up, I mean, it's really not much you can do except plan. And so those Starlink internet connections at each location and the Broadcom Broadcom VeloCloud, I'm sorry, product helped to keep those businesses up and running and able to access those applications even in the face of that disruption. So pretty proud of those two examples. And again, those are examples of how AirSpring helped large businesses, large enterprises in subverting the issues caused by those weather events. vCloud, there is only one. When I take a look at these different bullet points up here, point of sales, video monitoring, communications, websites, inventory and supplies, and alarm systems, the one that really sticks out for me in terms of greatest impact, and this is for me, your mileage may vary, is e-commerce, right? And I mentioned earlier about Cyber Monday and Black Friday, which are coming up soon. Those are both major shopping events that we actually measure our economy against, right? And we really do. I mean, the Cyber Monday reports and the Black Friday sales reports, right? Huge events. Now Black Friday traditionally generates higher overall sales, right? Because it appeals to both in-store and online shoppers. And it marks the start of the holiday shopping season, with these massive discounts across a variety of different product categories. Where Cyber Monday is the largest online shopping day of the year. It typically surpasses Black Friday in e-commerce sales because of its focus, which is exclusively on online deals, targeted at tech-savvy consumers like us that are on this call. And in recent years, Cyber Monday has shown faster growth in online revenue compared to Black Friday, which further reflects the increasing dominance of e-commerce. So with that in mind, e-commerce for me really is a huge driver of adopting cloud strategies and BCDR. because of the huge impact that it has on the economic impact that it has on businesses in the country. So I just wanted to go over connectivity again. Sometimes I hear the two terms diversity and redundancy used in the same way, and they really do reflect two different concepts in terms of BCDR. So, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but redundancy for the most part, when you think about it, right, the differences between redundancy and diversity. Redundancy adds quantity, right? Redundant switches, redundant VeloCloud edges, redundant routers, a la, HSRP and some of the other older technologies that were used. But that's more what redundancy is about. Whereas diversity actually adds variety, right? Different paths, technologies, or vendors. So you can consider diversity to be more like the number, the different types of connectivity that you place into a VeloCloud edge, right? To ensure uptime. Maybe a terrestrial fiber as your primary, an LTE 4G connection, 4G 5G connection as a secondary, and then maybe Starlink as a tertiary or something else as a tertiary. But the goal is, as far as connectivity really is, and my boss says this a lot, is to just simply build a better network. Make considerations for diversity when you're creating these solutions, and it will bode well for you during times where it's needed. So, now that we've covered the differences and similarities in BCDR concepts, and I've probably bored you to death with a lot of that, let's look at the AirSpring products that can help realize them, right? Because I know that's what you guys are itching to hear about. So Starlink, yes. Our Starlink offering provides a unique advantage for businesses requiring robust and reliable satellite internet connectivity. AirSpring as an authorized Starlink reseller, integrates Starlink's high-speed, low-latency satellite internet with our proprietary air control platform, which I'll show you guys in a second, offering 360-degree visibility and comprehensive management. Now, this integration supports demanding cloud-based applications and networking needs, making it a strong option for operations in remote or underserved areas. Starlink it's a beautiful thing. We're able now to provide connectivity in locations where we couldn't before, where there was no density. There were no copper, no fiber, no nothing, right? I mean, how do you get connectivity into locations like that? You use Starlink. And some of the key benefits include 24/7 proactive monitoring, right, via AirSpring's network Knox, and then automated issue resolution and tailored deployment services led by certified experts. We will come out and install this stuff for you. I mean, we will let you do it too if you want to, but we also provide solutions that where we will come out and we will do the installations for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And additionally, our bundled services simplify operations by combining connectivity solutions like SD-WAN, and we had mentioned before, in combination with Starlink services, and security, right, via our different security solutions, and unified communications with Starlink Internet, right, so you can get your UCaaS game on with this as well. And all that in an effort to ensure seamless implementation and ongoing support. So if you haven't delved into our Starlink offering, as of yet, contact your channel manager and dig in and get me involved too. I love to talk about this stuff. It's exciting. So that's our Starlink internet product, and I think that by virtue of the fact that it is a wireless solution, and that is a low Earth orbit satellite solution, and the fact that you can put this thing just about anywhere on the planet, and you can have internet connectivity, is sort of like a given about um, its ability to provide a solution as far as BCDR. Whoops. And next up, if you haven't heard, is our managed wireless WAN product powered by Peplink. And soon SpeedFusion, VPN bonding technology will be available as well. That's sort of Peplink's SD-WAN solution, where we can take, and the slide alludes to that, where we can take 4G, 5G cellular, right, via the Peplink, and then use SpeedFusion to bond that together with a Starlink solution to increase overall bandwidth availability for traffic coming out of a customer LAN. Huge stuff, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So the AirSpring Peplink powered managed wireless WAN solution helps to provide reliable and scalable wireless connectivity, combining the advantages of 4G, 5G networks with advanced management and monitoring capabilities, which I'll show you in a sec. It's designed for primary connectivity as well as network failover or even for temporary deployments. So think about those locations that had a disaster, no connectivity anywhere. We throw a PEP link in there, boom, they have connectivity now, right? Whether it's for primary or failover and or temporary deployments, doesn't matter. So it uses PepLink's robust devices and AirSpring's expertise to ensure seamless operations for customers. That's the managed wireless WAN product. It's a beautiful thing. I suggest you, again, contact your channel manager and get involved, talk about it, find out what the advantages are, costs, all those wonderful things. And the thing I love about the wireless WAN solution is the InControl platform, the InControl 2 platform. So the service offers 24/7 real-time monitoring, proactive issue resolution, and a single pane of glass management portal, right, via this web-based GUI that you're seeing right now called InControl 2. And it enables granular visibility and control over network performance. And with features like SIM management, and high bandwidth plans and data analytics, businesses can maintain network resilience and optimize connectivity for a diverse number of needs. So you can see here how the InControl 2 platform has this SIM pool data usage, which is a lot of what's shown. My guy Chuck Long actually loves this portal. He's probably giggling right now if he's listening to this, but he's a big fan of the Peppers, right? We call them the Peppers, PepLink, and in this portal, wonderful thing. A lot of agents ask, well, can we manage the SIMs, and the answer is yes. You can manage the SIMs. You can do what's called SIM quota alerting, which allows you to monitor and manage the data usage effectively across multiple SIM cards or all the ones that are within your account. And you can set custom data limits for individual SIMs, or even you can pool them together for the same effect, and receive notifications when these quotas are reached, and even automate actions like switching to an alternative SIM or disabling the WAN to prevent overages, which is a huge thing when it comes to cellular, right? You get so much data. If you don't have an unlimited plan, which we do, but if you have a limited plan, then you can manage those plans and flip between SIMs. Maybe you get to 80% of a plan on SIM 1 that has 100 gig or something, and then you can fail over to the secondary SIM, which has the whole 100 gig still left on it, and you can move over to that one, right? Really cool stuff. So and also the platform provides tracking and reporting, so it really makes it easy for you to reconcile the carrier billing and optimize data usage for cost efficiency and operational continuity, right? So cool stuff. One of my favorites, the VMware SD-WAN by VeloCloud, Broadcom VeloCloud. Man, this thing this is like my boss says, it's like hot sauce. We put it on everything. This product, especially our single site SD-WAN deployments, where it's an SD-WAN solution, right? Software defined wide area networking, which denotes having multiple locations. But the bookended design of SD-WAN allows us to deliver resiliency to single sites, right? Between edge and gateway. And so, it delivers a robust managed solution that enhances network performance and resilience for just about any business. And it's got features like, active routing, seamless failover between diverse links, which is why I have all these different connectivity solutions kind of hovering above the VeloCloud edge down there at the bottom. Got your PepLink, your cable modems, your cloud, your satellite, which are all those connectivity options are trying to reach, right? And so with those different with diverse links, it ensures uninterrupted connectivity, right? Because you got diversity of connectivity. Now, what it does is it prioritizes mission critical applications, right, via this thing called a business policy. And it also helps to optimize bandwidth usage and enables dynamic path selection for consistency of quality of service. So if one connection goes down, traffic takes the other connection without a hit. Now, the solution integrates advanced features such as FEC, forward error correction, and sub-second failover in tunnel, right, between links to maintain voice and video performance under challenging conditions. You have these applications that are real-time applications that don't tolerate state changes and things like that that normally happen during propagation of connectivity when things fail over. None of that is existent in the VMware VeloCloud solution. These things fail over seamlessly. And then when you add in AirSpring's white glove deployment and management, pre-configured devices, 24/7 network monitoring, the service supports cost-effective scalability, allowing businesses to connect remote sites quickly without the delays typical of traditional rigid wide area networking technologies like MPLS and some others, point-to-points and things like that. So it makes it an excellent choice for multi-location organizations transitioning to cloud-centric operations, which, if your businesses and your customers have not, you really do need to start having a conversation with them about, transitioning to a more cloud-centric environment. And then we tag on all that wonderfulness that I just talked about with GPN, or Global Private Networking. If Dave Pierce is listening, good job. Our GPN product is also powered by VeloCloud. It combines cutting edge technology with a carrier grade GPN, right? So we've got these high speed, low drag connections that connect, geographic regions together. The service offers high performance connectivity through a global network of different POPs. And they're all strategically located via this map in the United States, Europe, Asia Pac, and South America, to name a few. And this really ensures reliable, low latency connections from multi-cloud and SaaS applications. And you get the same transport agnostic edge flexibility that we discussed earlier, and support for diverse circuits, like MPLS, 4G, satellite, the like. And dynamic traffic optimization to maintain application performance, even under fluctuating network conditions, again, because of all those software mechanisms inherent in the VMware VeloCloud offering. So we make it particularly effective. It makes it particularly effective for businesses expanding across international markets, and with a unified billing structure, right? Regardless of where you're billing from, and end-to-end management, the service minimizes operational complexities and helps to maximize cost efficiency in that way, because we can provide this as well as the overlay technologies as well in different parts of the world. So we're a high-powered aggregator. This is again one of our superpowers as AirSpring. Oh boy, Cato Networks. If you haven't heard, you know now. AirSpring's Cato Networks offering is a fully managed SASE solution, right? Secure Access Services Edge. If you haven't heard the term, that's what that means. And that is a technology that integrates networking and security into a single cloud-native platform. It's powered by Cato's advanced technology, their space engine. This service ensures secure and optimized global connectivity for enterprises, as well as security and supporting distributed workforces in multi-cloud environments. But it's all about the POPs. Cato Networks has a global network of points of presence that help locations, regardless of where they're located in the world, to experience low latency on-ramp into the Cato network environment. So they can experience all of these wonderful SSE, SASE and SSE solutions that you see there. And cloud optimization, WAN optimization, global route optimization, self-healing architecture, right, by virtue of the multiple POPs. Next-gen firewall services, SWAG, secure web gateway, the whole kit and caboodle of SSE and SASE solutions, all within a single product and in that single pass engine called Space. It's a wonderful solution. Again, tap on the shoulder of your channel manager to find out more, or visit airspring.com for more on that solution. Very proud of the Cato solution. We've actually sold quite a few of these deals, and are selling a heck of a whole lot more, and leveraging the Cato backbone and the network for in very unique ways. You don't have to buy the entire stack with Cato. You can take advantage of the secure networking component if you're not quite ready for the SSE services that they have to offer. If you need high-speed, low-drag connectivity between geographic zones, on ramp, off ramp. You can use the Cato network for situations like that. The same way you would use the VeloCloud GPN. With the inclusion of SSE services as well, like ZTNA and SWAG and CASB, Cloud Access Security Brokerage, the whole 9 yards, and also the some of the key benefits include simplified management, right, via the Cato management portal, which you're looking at right now. You can see my name down there. I got a couple of devices that are utilizing the SDP, which is actually called something else now, which slips my mind because I've been running my mouth for the past few minutes. But these are applications that can be installed on client devices such as cell phones and desktops, which allow those devices secure access into the Cato network infrastructure to experience a lot of those SSE services, again, like CASB and SWAG and some of the other solutions. AirSpring, it's a fully managed solution. So AirSpring manages this, but we also give our customers, like we often do, we give them administrative agency into the web GUIs, so if they feel froggy, they can leap. But again, this is all managed by AirSpring as well. So really good stuff. Fortinet. After all that conversation that we had about security breaches and the like, the Fortinet solution is really a great solution. It's a security solution that offers a robust integration of both networking and security, designed for any modern enterprise. It combines Fortinet's advanced SD-WAN capabilities with AirSpring's white glove managed services to provide streamlined deployment, 24/7 proactive monitoring, and a comprehensive suite of threat protection solutions. Now, key features include, next-gen firewalls with unified threat management or UTP services, DPI-SSL, deep packet inspection, secure socket layer, and seamless WAN failover for high availability. Right, so we can do all those things with this product. And additionally, the solution supports, dynamic traffic shaping, all those SD-WAN byproducts, bidirectional routing, secure VPN connectivity, all that stuff, right? Ensuring optimized performance for your critical applications across diverse network environments in a similar fashion as the Broadcom VeloCloud solution. And you can plug diverse connectivity options into these, into these gateways and experience a similar level of network resiliency, along with a very robust security platform as well. SD branch, which is a sort of like an extension of everything I just mentioned, is our product that provides a comprehensive and secure networking solution that's tailored for distributed enterprises, with multiple branch locations or even single sites. The solution integrates Fortinet's advanced security technologies such as the FortiGate NGFW, along with AirSpring next generation firewall, with AirSpring's fully managed services. And it offers centralized management of network access and SD-WAN through the Forti portal. And for customers that have multiple locations, we would also provide access in the Forti Manager, depending. So all that ensures seamless oversight for the end user, as it does for AirSpring, in the effort to manage the service. So some of the key benefits of this solution, again, 24/7 proactive network monitoring, predictive wireless surveys go along with it. So if we're going to be doing SD branch at your locations, we can do predictive wireless surveys to make sure that the AP placement in those locations is optimum, and quite frankly, a ease of deployment. With support for advanced features like secure Ethernet with FortiSwitch and Wi-Fi 6 and 7 capabilities using Forti APs, and integrated security across that whole network edge, across the network edge of all the locations. The service reduces operational complexity while enhancing security and connectivity for remote branches. It really is an all-in-one solution for customers. And that's our SD branch solution via Fortinet. So again, if you've got customers that are looking for an all-inclusive solution for connectivity, as well as a switched, a gateway protected and switched and wireless solution at their locations, let's definitely have a conversation about the Fortinet SD branch solution. POTS replacement. That is another product. We've all heard about the deprivation and the displacement of copper facilities throughout the United States. Those technologies don't serve us any longer, right? And they quite frankly have been limiting the ability of businesses to seek advanced solutions, right? And upgrade their networks. This copper infrastructure it's deteriorating, and there's been a lot of carriers are actually taking advantage of that, because there are a lot of businesses that are still they're still relying on copper services for specialty lines like elevators and elevator security phones and fire alarm systems. Even in the advent of those types of vendors, providing connectivity or options for cellular connectivity within those appliances themselves, there still is a requirement for POTS replacement, for fax machines and other technologies that still rely on loop start connectivity. So the way this works is that it utilizes primarily terrestrial connectivity. So it could be the customer's existing broadband and or DIA services that they have, for primary connectivity. As you see the red X down there, if that connectivity happened to fail for whatever reason, then the services then fail over to the cellular backup, right? And then the devices themselves have battery backup, right? And contingency in place of any AC power, either fluctuations or outages in terms of AC power. So you really have this standalone unit that can pick up where the AC power and your terrestrial connectivity leave off, and still provide the connectivity for those devices that rely on analog services. So POTS replacement, great product, huge product. We also provide again professional installation of these services as well. So with these things, you can lower costs because of the advantage that a lot of carriers are taking, because the POTS services are becoming more and more exclusive and unavailable as those facilities are being removed in an effort to to streamline and upgrade networks towards IP. But with this solution, you can lower costs, circumvent those costs, consolidate your services, and streamline your operations, again, while maintaining high security and voice quality with these products. Had to take a breath. So air control, I talked about air control in a few slides before, and air control is AirSpring's IT services management platform. As we have grown and grow and continue to grow and adopt new technologies, again, that's a part of AirSpring's superpowers, is the diversity of services, diversity of products that we have, along with being able to provide you with the connectivity, diverse connectivity that you will need, for these solutions. That's our superpower. But with adopting multiple technologies comes a responsibility to simplify the vision or the view into those disparate technologies. And air control really is that solution. Again, regardless of what solution you may have with AirSpring, whether it's VMware, Starlink, and you can see a couple of options there. This is the solutions engineering portal for air control, and those are the different services that we use to demo to you and to your customers the different products and services that AirSpring has. But you can see how we're capturing critical and key information from each one of those platforms that you would still have access to. You'd still have access to those discrete portals, but we're taking pulling a lot of that information, again, critical information from those disparate platforms into air control for a real single pane of glass from single panes of glass. So, air control, we're really proud of it. And, it really helps to consolidate, the management of different devices and circuits and data points into a unified interface, and helping to streamline operations for the businesses that come on board. So, things like real-time monitoring, automation, analytics, enhanced efficiency, while integrating with AirSpring's managed services helps to ensure proactive support. So, this platform has been designed for scalability. Air control simplifies complex IT environments, improving operational agility and security. And the platform is designed to optimize and simplify IT service management. So by offering real-time network performance monitoring and the deep analytics in a single pane of glass, we enable businesses to enhance their overall efficiency and responsiveness to changing network conditions. So the platform, again, in closing, helps to, provide proactive insights, ensuring that potential issues are detected and resolved and seen by us and our customers before they impact operations. And all this integrates with AirSpring's managed services. And air control gives users a centralized view of the AirSpring services and improving overall operational control across the IT infrastructure that they have with AirSpring. So, as we head to the end of this wonderful deck, with business continuity and disaster recovery, you definitely need a plan of attack. And how do you plan on, having these conversations with your end users and your customers? If you're a channel manager listening, how do you plan on having these conversations with your agents? And then, maybe sparking interest in the end users themselves to have conversations internally about their particular plan of attack, because, it is a community of thought leadership that ultimately comes up with the overall solution that businesses need to, to ensure BCDR. So, we have some bullet points here about, identifying risks, assessing potential threats and their impact, developing a strategy, creating a comprehensive BCDR plan, implementing redundancy. You have to implement it too, right? You just can't talk about it. You got to do it. And using redundant network components, which are all things that AirSpring offers in spades. And then, having backup data, backing up your data between locations. Usually they would be geographically disparate. Cough, cough, 90 miles disparity, not across town, and things like that. And then securing your network against cyber attacks using the AirSpring products and services that centered around security, like our Fortinet solutions. And then you got to test, and you have to train. You got to train your teams. You got to train your internal customers. Your internal customers to how to act when the situations arise. And then you have to test those solutions as well on average. Again, the customer that I was talking about earlier, that experienced the hurricane damage had all of this down pat, with the help of AirSpring. And when Helene came up and did its thing, that customer is thankful to AirSpring, that they listened to our advice and our thought leadership and implemented those solutions, which came in handy when Helene came screaming through. And so best practices for BCDR. Again, you want to prioritize those critical systems and focus on systems that are essential to your business operations. As a business, you would know what those are, right? I mean, I couldn't tell you. You could tell me, and then I could help. But ultimately, it takes a village to make these things happen, and it takes a consensus between AirSpring, solutions engineering team, my team, the agencies, and then any technical staff on behalf of the customer. Then you want to document stuff, right? You want to maintain detailed documentation of the plan, procedures, and contact information. And then, as I said before, you want to test regularly, or you want to conduct regular tests to ensure the effectiveness of the plan in real time, because things that look good on paper, may need to be augmented in practice. And then you want to stay updated. You want to, keep updating. That's actually a part of AirSpring's superpower. when you leverage a managed services through Airstream, that becomes our responsibility to keep those platforms up to date with the latest technologies and best practices. Then you want to collaborate with your other business units if you have them. Sales, maybe talking to procurement and other things like that, right? So that you understand, everybody has an understanding of the different needs and priorities. And then consider cloud-based solutions. Definitely, the cloud is a tool that businesses should use, and that a lot of businesses are using. But then you may want to consider the cloud for other things that you may be doing on site, like UCaaS, for example, right? You may want to adopt a UCaaS strategy for your voice communications. Again, primary and secondary backup sites and things like that. And then you want to monitor network performance, right? You want to always be taking a look at your network, always be taking a look, always be closing. You want to always be taking a look at your network performance, right? And maintaining clairvoyance, right, into how your network is performing, so you can make prescient decisions about how to move next, right? And these are all things that AirSpring provides via the different GUIs and platforms that we sell. And then you want to stay informed, right? Like being on this webinar, getting some good information about best practices, for enterprise network BCDR, and having those discussions with your end users and your customers, and adopting these practices, so that when force majeure, when the Hurricane Helenes of the world occur, you've got some solutions in place to continue operating in the face of that adversity. And so, I get to take a breath now. So with that in mind,
it sounds great.
I'm going to open things up to questions and hand it back over to Patrick.
All right, Clinton, thank you so much. Very informative. I learned a lot about how to make sure that we're protected and protecting our enterprises and our customers along the way. And making sure that they have a business continuity plan in place and disaster recovery, because it hits from all different angles. There is a question from Amy Palmer here. Do you offer Starlink to a building with multiple businesses?
Yes. I guess what we're talking about is a multi-tenant scenario where we offer one Starlink dish and have them split it up. I mean, they could implement that infrastructure, put a router on the end of the Starlink, and then divvy that connectivity out to multiple businesses within a single building. But if you're talking about multiple businesses within a building and each one of them wanting a Starlink solution, then the answer to that is also yes. A lot of that, the right of way and installing the Starlink dishes can sometimes require the conversation with the building owner. They may have some questions about how the service is going to be installed and the impact to the aesthetics of their building, right? You might go up on the roof and already see a billion different things already on the roof. And a lot of businesses with tall buildings and strategically located in strategic locations actually use the height of their buildings, to resell to satellite and wireless companies, right? So it's almost a line of business and a source of revenue for them. So the answer to the question, the long drawn out answer from me is yes, absolutely. It's definitely worth having a conversation with your channel manager or one of the members of my solutions engineering team. So,
That's
yes.
definitely true. And just to make sure on the right of way. That's the only real concern there. And if they'll let you drill holes or find a way to get the wires through.
Because after that, sky's the limit, right?
Exactly.